on the record. Okay. So no, I was just like little worried if everything is fine because I saw that you logged in at 6, I mean, some half an hour ago, and I got an alert, and that was the time I was arranging, and I thought, did I miss the time or something? But then now that
No, I was, in my calendar, I block out from 9 on because I want to make sure that, I'm
yeah,
present, prepared, ready. And then this
but
morning, I'm like, I couldn't remember. That's why I logged in at 9, and
that's
then I
perfectly fine.
was trying to figure out what time it was really supposed to be. And then when you weren't there, I thought, okay, it's going to be 9:30.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. So, I mean, so did you complete your call with your brother?
Yes, I did. I did.
Okay,
It's very
okay.
exciting. He's leaving for London today, and then we meet up in Germany on the 16th of May.
Okay, 16th of May. So you have
Yes.
quite a number of days at least, yeah, around 3 weeks.
Yeah. So he'll be touring England and Scotland and then flying to Germany. So we had a lot of last minute details like who's going to rent the car in Germany and what kind of car, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, okay. So
Yeah.
glad to know. I was just a little worried. I mean, not exactly worried. I would say like if everything is fine, I have messaged you even on LinkedIn and all that in case if you're not feeling well or something, then we can always reschedule or something like that. But then you are here, so I'm glad we can start. No issues, yeah. So yeah,
Thank you.
good morning and
Good
uh,
morning.
welcome back. And could you get some time to reflect upon any of the maps, or how was your week in terms of mind mapping?
Yes, so I did do the homework. I didn't send you anything from it, the notes, etc. So in terms of mind mapping, it was very fun. I mind mapped the course on reading,
Okay.
the reading mind map. And
Wow.
so that was very nice to just be able to do that. And I think one of the problems was that I definitely, the branches were easy, the main branches. I did a little picture. What was a little bit a problem was that
Mm-hmm.
the 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 content branch ended up being many branches. It's its own tree almost.
Okay, okay.
And but I did definitely get I think I've gotten all the main points. And so that's very good. I reviewed my weekly mind map, my week mind map, um,
Okay,
a
the
couple.
schedule, the weekly planner and all of that.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
oh, that's
So
nice.
I had reviewed it when I was, actively doing it. And then I re-reviewed it and made notes on
Mm-hmm.
made notes or put little icons on what I did and the things that I didn't do. There's no
Okay.
mark on them, and I sit there and contemplate about like I
Oh.
just I just didn't live up to my commitments to myself. um
I do that, yeah. Even I do that. I have written and then okay, I say, okay, these are the tasks done and then these are not done. So this particular branch I could not even reach. And okay, let me take it to the next day or next week. And then I
yes,
move it to next week or something like that. Yeah. So yeah,
yeah,
I agree.
yes, I think that's really good. And the when I read things, I think about mind mapping them. When I watch a TV or a movie, I think about mind mapping them. Um, my mind seems busy enough that I haven't done any like brainstorming or creativity type of mind mapping yet. So
Okay.
um, I'm sure that will come.
Yeah,
Um,
surely that will come. And it's
yeah,
more like a process, we will get there. And as you say, the book thing, so which means that you could go through the course, that short,
yes,
very short course. So in the
yes,
coming, even once our sessions and all, everything, when even it is done also, you will slowly get access to many such things uh, for you to even watch later, maybe, after 2 months, 3 months also, you can watch them. So
Yes, yes. No, thank you. And I took normal notes on the things that you had me read, right? I didn't do any mind mapping there because I needed to go fast.
that's okay.
And there was a phrase in the first one that just it so spoke to me, and it was I love the phrase "help your mind" from Marcus Engelman's book. Help your mind to become a powerful idea generator.
Yes.
Loved that.
Our
And
mind is the idea generator. Our mind is an idea generator actually, but it is that um, it's not that linear thinking is wrong or right, but the only thing is the moment we put it in the form of a map. Even if you remember the last time we did this podcast mapping, and we will again pick it up at the end today. We will not make it the
good,
whole
thank
thing.
you.
We will just pick it at the end, or if we have time, or we will take that slowly. But the idea is, for example, even when I do, because when I'm planning a podcast in coming months, not immediately. So the moment it is on a piece of paper, just like that, there are chances that we don't miss out any points. For example, have I added the intro, whether this part is edited or not? So it's all together in one place. So that is very beneficial. Rather than flipping through the pages, we have all thing in one place. Second is about, the mind map, though you have made it today, and then you have kept it, and maybe you're just you go for cooking, or maybe you just go for a walk, and then you suddenly get some idea, and again you come back and you just add an extra branch there and you
Right,
add
that's
that.
what I love about it. You can
So
keep
it's
growing
lovely.
it.
Yeah, it's like a live document which keeps on growing. Whereas in pen and paper, I mean, with pen and paper, the normal way of writing, if we want to add some data there also, it's all blocked. There's not much space left. Whereas in mind map, the spaces are like telling us, okay, you can generate more ideas. So yeah. So from the book, we will pick up today from where because you have shown me the mind map of the book that you have made. Just now you have shown me a mind map. So we will pick up from there. I'll show you a mind map of how we can create a mega summary of a mind map.
Yes, yes,
And
that was so cool. The
yeah,
big picture thing.
yeah. So one is, if you remember the last in the video, the last we spoke about mega mind maps. I'll show you one mega mind map, and one I will show you here in this app, in this digital tool. And I will also show you how I have also done it in a, what you call, mm, in a pen and paper, just like how you do. Just with,
Yes,
yeah. So
yes.
for pen and paper, I do a lot, but one I posted on LinkedIn as well was five love language, the love language, five rules of love language. No,
Oh,
that book completely, it's 176 pages, and it is all there in just one mind map, and it's quite possible. Rule number one, rule number two, and similarly now, let me share my screen, and I will show you this. Okay, okay, maybe this is okay. So I'll for explanation purpose, I have picked up this particular book.
yeah.
Yeah. So now there are many ways, and again, I'm saying that this is not something fixed, that okay, these are the only three branches or four branches I can make. But this is something that has worked for many of us, and you can always add or delete or modify some of the branches here. So what we do is we take the name of the book at the center, and we draw a simple image. Or maybe just what I do is, I'm not generally very artistic, so I would just make the symbol of a book, or I will write the word
Mm-hmm.
ikigai in bold letters with some colors and all at the center. I would do that, and then from there, what I'll do is, I can this meaning you can put it on the other side. It's up to you, whichever side you put. So, for example, if I put start from that side, so first I'll write a little bit about the book.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is the book about? Let me increase. So I write a little bit about the book. And so I write, okay, what is the book about? The book, for example, if I'm taking this book as an example, this book is about the secrets of, people living in this small village called Okinawa. So secrets of
Yeah.
Okinawans. So from there, at least I get an idea. This book is about the secrets of Okinawans. And then I open this and I see that what are the secrets? Because now that I have read
Yeah.
the book, I will by any chance, have you read this book?
No, but I've read a lot about the Okinawans, and
Okay. Oh, wow.
yeah, because it's very popular here in the US because Okinawa is where there's a US base. And
Okay.
so people, the news picks up on Okinawan
And
uh
I think people are there.
thing.
A lot of people research also about how, there are a lot of institutes that research that why the people there are so healthy and why they don't get cardiac arrest like in other parts of the world. No. Yeah.
Yes. And
So
what's really special about this, there are many healthy old populations that people study, but the thing about this one is the happiness. The Okinawans are really happy, right? And when they
yeah.
study the people living in the mountains of Bulgaria, they eat yogurt. I don't think they're very happy. So that's why they're so special.
Wow. So I mean, it will be lovely then to discuss this book with you. And I will try to show you how just you with a mind map, all in just one map, we will explore through the entire book in the next 10 minutes.
Great.
Okay, so what I wrote here is what about the secrets of Okinawans, and then I write exactly that first point that they have enviable level of enthusiasm. And why do I say this? I put a small note here, and even in a mind map also you can put an arrow and put a star symbol and just write down that why do you say enviable, or maybe you can just extend a branch here and write down that they dance
Yeah.
at, let's say, 80 or
Yeah.
so something we can keep on adding a branch here, and I can write them, okay, drive at at the age of 90 or something, like whatever it's, we can keep on adding branches and write down why did I say that one of the top secret of people of Okinawa, that even at 80 90 they dance, they sing, and they live a very healthy happy life. And then we come to the next point that is discussed in the book is about fewer chronic ailments. So they don't get sick, and even chronic ailments are not there like in other parts of the world. Then
Hmm.
very less rate of dementia, and they are very active until the end of their life. And again, under this also we can keep putting branches, like they grow their own vegetables. Even old people, they are not those kind of old people who would just gaze at the window and do nothing, and they feel that okay, this is just end of it. Instead, they would go for walk, they would go out with their friends, so they remain very active until the end of their life. So these are some of the secrets that the book talks about. So I wrote a little bit about the book, the secrets. Then I write what is the objective of the book from the author's point of view, or what is exactly the book about. So, and then I again put it like this, that okay, the book is basically the author going and interviewing the Okinawans. So interviews of the Okinawans and giving us an insight of their life philosophy, understand what is their ikigai. So it will help the readers find our own ikigai in life. And
Mm.
in turn, the readers will be able to live a healthy and long life by being getting inspired from them. So all these are the objectives of the book. And this is again as per my understanding, what I understood from the book. So this could vary from person to person when the person reads. And then I write a little bit about who the authors are. And
Yeah.
what I do is, for example, here I haven't done this, but when I make a hand-drawn mind map, I would also write a little bit about the author, background of the author, where are the authors from, and so a little bit about the authors also I like from
Yeah.
time to time. So I will just do a little bit of thinking and all of that. And then from there,
So,
yeah.
oh, just one question. Do you do that before you read the
Oh no,
book?
this is after. This is after
Okay,
complete,
got it. Got it.
because this is a complete mega summary of the book. Now,
Summary.
yeah, and
Yes.
thank you for asking that question, because that brings me to the next point that uh, when I read a book, or when you read a book, and not all books are something that I would want to mind map. But if there's a book or an article or anything that I would really want to mind map, what I would do is I would take some blank sheets of rough papers, or something like that. And every time I'm reading the chapters, I will draw a very plain mind map, a very fast one, not with too many images or colors, but it's more like capturing, but in a
Yeah.
radiant way. So I'll keep on making that chapter by chapter. And now, when let's say this book had 9 chapters, actually 10, 9 chapters are the main content, and the 10 they summarize. So what I did is for each chapter, it's mostly like, hand drawn and very rough and not
Mm-hmm.
very good
Mm-hmm.
handwriting, but I made all the points and all. And then what I did, I sat with all of that And maybe after, the book took me, I used to read one chapter per day. So it took me 10
Mm-hmm.
days. And on the 10th day, I just kept myself, because I loved the book so much. I said, okay, let me
Okay.
sit with all those papers. And then finally, I made the actual mind map. And then that becomes my piece of art, or, creation, whatever I call it.
Yes.
And I can treasure that. Whereas the rough papers are more like just rough notes. So yeah, it's there, but that is not something I would want to preserve. But the actual
Right.
mind map I would want to preserve. And what I did was, after 3 days, I looked at it once. After 2 weeks, I looked at it once. And then after 1 month, I looked at it once. And then after that, I never looked at it. This was in 2020, the first time I read. But then I have given, mind mapping plus Kaizen plus Ikigai. So that also I have taken sessions, particularly for youngsters. Then I have taken session. I take book reading sessions for some people. So there also I take, but because I was so internalized in making the map, so what happens is now I don't have to revise.
Mm-hmm.
The things are automatically there. So what I'm trying to tell you is, when we mind map a book or something in this way, though it is taking more time initially, but then later on it just remains in your brain. So actually we are utilizing the time in a better way.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's marvelous.
So yeah, so maybe meaning of the book and about the book, so something like that we write, and then finally we go to this takeaways. So sometimes some people, they say 10 takeaways or 10 key learnings from the book, 5 key learnings from the book. So because it is a summary, so I thought, okay, I thought about the book, I looked at all my rough notes, and I thought that, okay, though there are 10 chapters, but all that can be put into 5 categories. And this is where we start, that the 5 categories are: the first, they talk about diet,
Mm.
they eat, and they call it the miracle diet. And it is also, I also have written a small note here for my own understanding, that they eat only up to 80%. And once they fill, they don't fill their stomach like, generally, even if we want, our stomach is full, but that last one piece of dessert, because it's very tasty, we take that extra. So they don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they stop eating consciously just before the stomach is full, only 80%. And they don't serve, food, though it is not written here, they don't serve food like, in India, we serve food one by one, for example. We don't
Yeah.
serve everything at once. But in the book, it is written that Okinawans, they would take the entire platter together in small, 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 small balls, so that at once, this is what you will have. You don't have that again and again, you can take and keep continuing eating. So that,
Right. Right. With breaks in between, which allows you to eat more.
yeah. So that is, so then they consume, rarely consume sugar, they eat food rich in antioxidants, they all, and yeah, this is what I've written: all food is served at once and not in breaks.
Mm.
So that is why they can avoid overeating. They avoid dessert generally, less meat, and they eat variety of vegetable, fruits, and grains. So all of this are mentioned. So though it is written in some 20-30 pages, but this is the crux, that
Right.
what
Right.
the miracle diet is. And I think this is sufficient for me to understand about, uh, the miracle diet that they are talking about. Then the
Yeah.
next key learning about the book is that they say that you have to keep moving. And by this, they mean that, in the book, it's written that in their language, they don't have a term which means retirement. That means, yeah, one person can retire from his normal day 9 to 5 job or something, but a person cannot retire in life. If there's one job is gone, there's another work and another work. So it's always up to you. So they never retire. And they're extremely active people with having a sense of purpose in life. So for them, it is very
Mm.
important that they never retire in life. Then they do gardening, walking, and all of this. Interviews are taken from people above 80 years. The interviews are with 80, 90, 100-year people. So it's, when I'm saying gardening, walking, yoga, or they do this particular form of exercise called radio so all of this they do even at the age of 80, 90, and this is what keeps them very active. So even the movements are shown in the book of what kind of yoga or radio so they do.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, so these are the two key takeaways from the book. The next one was flow. Now
Yeah.
again, this particular topic has been extensively spoken in the book. I think they have spoken it for at least 2 chapters and a lot of pages. And though I have not captured all the points here, I mean, in case you are making, one can always capture. They talk about how a person is, that person that he's finding flow in just making sushi every day and serving people. He wakes up in the morning,
Mm.
he buys the raw material, he goes to the market to buy the raw materials, he come back to his place, restaurant, and then he makes that, and he finds flow in just doing that repeatedly every day. Whereas
Mm.
uh, even Steve Jobs, went to that
Yeah,
country,
that.
went to Okinawa just to see that what is the secret of these people. How do they find so much flow in whatever work they are doing, even if it is a tiny work? They will do it with very meticulously, fully involved in the process. So this is what the book talks a lot about, that when you get your ikigai in life, when you know what is your purpose is, we also get that flow in life, and automatically we find that optimal state where we are very happy. So
Mm.
this is what they talk about. And again, I have written a small note about it because I found that this concept
Oh.
was not directly by the authors of this book, but by somebody else who has done extensive research on this particular book, flow.
Mhm.
So again, I wrote here that this flow is popularized by the positive psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, and then all of this, that it means that flow means that a person is absolutely present in the present moment and is completely so immersed in the task that he or she forgets even what time of the day it is, or maybe the person could have forgotten to take lunch. Or for example, suppose you are writing something or reading something, and you that is something you really enjoy, then you would not be bothered about missing a phone call, or having lunch or dinner or anything. You just get into the flow, and that is when we find this happiness as well. So I wrote a little notes about it, and then I also wrote here that in this book the authors say that in order to find your ikigai, having flow is the key. So I have
Mm.
marked the symbol, and then they say that how do you achieve flow in your life? By doing one thing at a time. It's not that we take too many major tasks at one time, and then maybe I'm planning to write a book, then majority of my time should be dedicated to that, and then there can be small small filler activities. So one thing at a time, not much distractions. Then they also talk about perseverance and consistency. Then this they talk about how flow can spark when we have something in life for which we get up every morning, then automatically it will spark joy in our life. So all of that, being present in the moment, high interest in life, we have clarity or purpose. So all that is discussed here. Then what I did was, because it is a digital tool, so I also had the flexibility of adding in a lot of information. So I did add this
Oh,
to TEDx talk, which I'll be sending to you in the coming week.
thank you.
I mean, tomorrow. So these are the 2 TED talk by the person who is the founder of this concept flow. Uh,
Okay.
this person passed away in 2021.
Oh.
Okay. So, but I mean, even I have listened to this. I mean, I have actually went and bought the book Flow, and I read the entire book, and it's a wonderful book on psychology, positive psychology. In any case, if you have interest, you can always read that book. The name of the
Yeah.
book itself is Flow. Flow by
Really.
Professor Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, and beautiful the way he explains everything. I'm sure you like it. So I just added those links as well here, so that whenever I refer to the book, or if I'm teaching someone also about all of this, I can just play the video here, and you know so
Yeah.
so you can see
That
so much
is.
of information all put together. And yes, then what once we go complete flow, then the fourth key takeaway was this people in Okinawa, they believe a lot in the power of yoga and meditation. And they also talk about living an unhurried life. If you see that there's no always chasing and racing around, they accept that whatever it is, it is. They try to
Yeah.
stay equanimous, like they don't get too excited at some achievement, neither do they get too sad at some loss. They try to maintain that conscious living or mindful living. And then they say that, yoga or meditation are a part of their daily ritual, just like brushing teeth or uh, taking water, drinking water, taking bath, or whatever it is. It's a part of their daily life. They don't miss some sort of exercise.
Wow.
It could be something, everybody could do different thing, but some sort of exercise that is, when we say yoga or meditation, it is some sort of combination of physical exercise and awareness of breath. So they combine this two and they have this in their life. And this is what they start their day with. So it's like part of their daily ritual. And then this is a concept they believe in, and I have written here. I'm not sure how they pronounce it. Maybe Ichigo Ichie or something.
Yeah, sounds good. I don't know either, but that sounded good.
But yeah, so they say that this, according to this concept, what they mean is that this moment of, like, for example, the moment that we are talking in right now, or whatever, this moment won't come again. It exists only in now. And this is something we believe even in India, or when we talk about Buddhism, or even
Yes.
here, even in our concept, Indian, spirituality, we say that when we are very depressed, we are talking of thinking about past. And when we are very anxious, it means we are thinking about future. But if we just think in this moment, then there is no suffering actually. All the suffering is either in the past or in the future. So they also have this concept, Ishigo Ishie, which means this moment exists only now and won't come again. And the Japanese, they often emphasize the significance of acceptance of
Oh,
whatever is
yes.
beyond control. Whatever is beyond control, just to let that go, and being present in the moment and enjoy every moment that life offers, and thus reinforcing the importance of finding and pursuing the ikigai. There is something that we all can always look forward whenever we get up in the morning. There is something that, okay, this is something I am getting up and this is my ikigai. Now I have an entire day to work for this. So that happiness, that feeling of satisfaction, that feeling of acceptance. So they say that is very important to, leave. So yeah, this is about when they talk about yoga, meditation, awareness of breath, being mindful in the present situation. Even while eating also, they have discussed the same thing, mindful eating, like experiencing the taste of the food, experiencing being there in the moment, even if the food takes, let's say, 10 minutes or 15 minutes to eat, ensuring that we are not on our mobile phones, which we generally
Yeah.
are these days. But then they say that to avoid that, or we are not watching TV. Again, that is something so many of us do. We watch TV and we just put the food in our mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even I, we
I
also
do
do
that
that.
too.
We do that, especially in dinner. Lunch, we have it very peacefully. But dinner,
Yeah.
sometimes if there's some show coming up, we would just
Yeah.
and then again,
Yeah.
once in a while, we make it a point that, okay, we won't do this. Today we will eat together and we will pray and eat. And we will also try to be grateful for the food. And we will also feel the taste, each of the taste in our taste buds. And then we try that, but not always it happens, but we do try, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, this is all about mindfulness, yoga, and meditation. The fourth key takeaway from the book. And then the book talks about, towards the end, if you come towards the eighth or ninth chapter of the book, Ikigai, they talk about a concept called beyond resilience. They don't say only resilience. What they say is resilience is when we expect that, okay, no matter whatever has happened to me, I'll remain strong, or I
Yes.
will not change my characteristics, or I will not break down because something, some hardships I have faced or some challenges came and it tried to break me, but I'll not break down.
Right.
But they say that when you have a purpose in life, when you have your ikigai in life, then you also have the capacity to go beyond, one step beyond resilience. And what they mean that is, we not only remain strong by facing challenges, even in the face of some adversities, but instead we become stronger. We bounce back 10 times stronger. We bounce back, to 2 times stronger, something like that. So
Yeah, it's very positive.
yeah, I was not aware of this concept directly. And then when I read this book, it was so nice to know about this, and it was so powerful. And they talk about this term, when they say beyond resilience, they say anti-fragile.
Mm-hmm.
They use this term called anti-fragile, and then they say anti-fragility is a property of systems that increases the capability to thrive as a result of shocks or noise. I mean, the more you give me trouble, I'll only become better and better.
And resilience is like, because it's a very important concept for healing children of abuse, right? To foster their sense of resilience. Um, and, but that's just surviving, right? This is surviving and thriving.
Thriving, yes. So I found this so powerful because yes, one is exactly what you said, no, surviving, and then no matter, I'll go. And sometimes I also feel victimized when we constantly face some problems in childhood. Even I had faced a lot of problems in my childhood.
Yeah.
So we have that feeling that okay, no, I'm strong, I'm this, I'm that, and then but am I just surviving or thriving? So this concept is very beautiful. And then I tried to find out that who developed this term, and then there's this book by this person, Nassim Nicholas Taleb, who has written this book and who has coined this term,
Mm,
anti-fragile. And then the authors of this particular book, Ikigai, they say that when you have an Ikigai in life, automatically you will be seeing a boost in your resilience. Automatically, you'll become more focused, and even if challenges comes to your on your way, you will be able to face them and even become better because you
mm,
now have a strong purpose. You know that why are you waking up each morning? So that purpose is there, and then they have written that I have just written the meaning again, that anti-fragile, it means that things that gain from disorder, that even if there is some hardship, I'll just say okay, thank you, because it's only going to make me even stronger. So something like that. And we just get better with every blow, and setbacks are looked at as an opportunity for growth.
mm.
And and then they talk about how to become anti-fragile.
That's
And
great.
then they say that by having more choices, for example, if I want to become anti-fragile in my finance, then I need to have side hustles, because suddenly tomorrow if I'm just laid off from my company, so will I have something? Maybe even I'm doing a gardening at my backyard and selling some vegetables, but do I have at least that or not? Or do I have some extra income source or something like that? And then
Mm-hmm.
they say in household, or if you look at the relationship, if I'm too dependent upon just one person and I don't keep friends, I am all the time looking, maybe as a mother I'm only looking after my children and husband, and I am just all the time inside the home and I don't go out in the community, I don't make friends, so I'll be always emotionally very dependent. But the moment I
Mm-hmm.
have good relationship with many other people, I'm becoming more and more emotionally stable. So that is what they say, that even in terms of relationship, it is good that we have friends outside our home, we have more friends, we have communities where we can go and serve and discuss. Then they say having a hobby also makes you more resilient, makes you more anti-fragile. Taking risk but calculated. Then of course community engagements and wider circles. So a mixture of having more choices in our day-to-day life makes us more stable and hence more anti-fragile. Then they say that remove things from your life that make you fragile. And what are
Wow, that's
they? Say
powerful.
habits. Yeah, this is so powerful because some habits make me fragile. For example, I could say, even if I'm not taking care of my health, it's making me more and more fragile.
Mm-hmm.
Or some people, I need to set boundaries but I'm not setting, so even that is making me more fragile, because sometimes we get into some kind of relationships that do not really serve the purpose. Or maybe I have taken too many loans,
Mm.
and or maybe some fears or some old memories that I'm just not letting it go and I'm just holding it to it. So whatever it is, any of those things, when we remove, we are only making us more and more fragile. And they say that finally embrace whatever imperfectness it is there, you just embrace it. And yeah.
Yeah, that's powerful. I think I need to read this book.
And yes, finally, when you say embrace the imperfectness, this brings us to the last point of the book, that is wabi sabi. And wabi sabi in their Japanese, it means embracing the uncertainties of life, accepting that not everything is perfect in nature, things are random, things are imperfect, and even then every moment brings a new possibility. So even I have actually started reading a book only on wabi sabi now. Like, what is wabi
Oh,
sabi? Yeah, it's a beautiful concept, and maybe some other time, some other day, if I completely make a mind map, I'll definitely at least share a recording with you. I'll just say.
oh, great.
So it's a beautiful thing. So yeah, so these are the 5 takeaways. I'll just close. I'll add a video of explanation of this book as well, maybe in another 10 or 15 days in your course. So it'll be
Oh,
there.
thank
Yeah.
you.
So yeah, so now what I do is, for example, we have written the meaning, we have written about the book, we have written 5, like in this case it was 5, but if you are reading some other book, you can always go for 4, 3, 6, 7, whatever, the number of takeaways, and you can keep on extending them. And finally, I always add this branch in my hand-drawn mind maps, not here, that, okay, I have learned all of this. Is there something at least I will start with implementing from this book? So in my
Mm,
case, it was food, that I'll be mindful while eating, and I won't eat till here just for the sake of my tongue or my
right.
or I'll take care of my health, and I'll eat like 80%. I'll also tell my family about this concept. That was the point number 1, implementation. Second point was having more choices, whether it was in terms of money or in terms of having a wider circle of friends, but then again choosing wisely who are my friends and all of that. And the third implementation was living an unhurried life. All the time I would not
Oh,
just be crazy. I used to be very crazy, and like especially during my PhD, I just wanted to do everything. I wanted to write a research paper every 6 months. I wanted to publish something. So that thing was there. So
you
I
put
thought,
your own pressure. You put pressure on yourself.
yeah, and that was taking so much of toll on my health, and even I used to be cranky all the time, and that would lead to some unnecessary quarrel in the house, when even it's nobody's fault, but I am the one who is getting cranky. So
Oh,
I have seen all of that. So I thought, no, implementation I have to do. And this book only reinforced that belief that I have to live a little bit unhurried life once in a while, at least, if not always. So, and whatever book I read, I write at least 3 implementation points.
oh,
It's
neat.
there. And once that is all, it's like a full circle now, that I started reading
Yeah,
the book. And again, after 10 years, also, if I see this mind map, okay, I have implemented this 3 points in my life, or 5 points in my life, something of that sort.
yeah.
This is what we
Oh,
call a mega book summary using mind map. And you can do the same
this
thing for
is,
any book.
I love this, how you really condense everything, not just what you read, but how you interpreted what you read and what you are doing with the information and insights. It's great.
Yeah. So,
And it is interesting that um, some of these branches are simpler or have fewer elements in them than others, right? So that's nice to see too, that some ideas just aren't growing for you.
mhm.
It's okay, this is it. Um, Whereas others are just completely, taking
Yeah.
off.
I got, like, for example, I got so interested in the concept of flow. So the flow branch just flowed, it expanded. Whereas yoga and meditation also was, but then in the food branch, if you see that they were lesser, because that was the only
Right.
information that I could understand, interpret from there, and that was enough for me. At least I felt so.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
somebody else could be expanding that branch a lot.
Right. Like writing down what the antioxidant foods were. I was thinking, I always forget. You read articles, you read the list constantly, and somehow the only thing that stays in my mind is blueberries.
Oh, I love blueberries. I just had before our meeting.
Good, good. They're rich in antioxidants.
Yeah, I love them. Blueberries, and then we have green tea, and yeah, all of that. So yeah, and actually, this book had added a lot of this thing. Even as a family, we practiced a lot of thing after reading this book. We tried to change, particularly this mindful eating, as I said.
Yes, yeah. Great.
Uh, okay, so was this useful to you?
Very, very useful. And um um so you use the Ikigai book as an example
Mhm,
in the book mapping
mhm,
course,
mhm.
but so that was really good and interesting, but this is clearly deeper and more meaningful.
Surely.
So
Thank
I love, I love this.
thank you. So,
And what was it? There was one, I can't remember now if it was in the course. I don't know if it was in the course, but don't research, right? Don't get lost in research.
yes, yes,
But
yes.
you did a little bit, but at least it was kind of after the reading, right? You
Yeah,
didn't just
after the
stop and
reading,
go,
means during
oh,
the
I've got
reading,
to learn more about wabi
yeah,
sabi.
yeah. And during the process of speed mapping, now again, here is this concept. I'll just stop sharing for a while. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so we have this concept of mind mapping and speed mapping. These are two things. I mean, they are similar, but not the same thing. So what we do is, if you remember that mind map where I said, where it was said that don't get lost in research, that
Yes.
more like the initial step when I'm just reading the chapters. And okay, even if I want to do a research, I'll just put a star mark and say, okay, I'll research this later. Because right now, I don't want to get so lost in the research that I don't complete the book.
Yes.
That happens
Yes.
to so many people that we start, but then we don't complete the book. And it's very common
Right.
for so many of us. So hence, uh, when we are reading the chapters, we can just do speed mapping. In speed mapping, we don't have to bother about colors. We don't have to bother about whether everything is in perfect order or not. And what we'll do is we'll just put a central image. Let's say the name of the chapter is Miracle Diet. So I'll just
Mm-hmm.
put Miracle Diet, or maybe I'll just put some food at the center. And then as and when I'm reading one paragraph, and from that paragraph, whatever I'm understanding, I'll put in one branches. So it could go up to 10 branches also, let's say. But
Okay.
ideally, in a mind map, we would say that we only want 7 branches. But in a speed map, it can go to 10, 15, because we are just putting the ideas, but in a radiant way.
Mm-hmm.
We'll keep putting the ideas, and we will just, if some point is very important, we will just put some codes. We will put some star symbol. Okay, this is something I will put explore more later, or something like
Yep.
that. So we will keep on doing speed mapping. And once all the chapters have been completed, then you have a choice of making this, what we have shown you just now, mega book summary. Uh,
Yep.
and then there are some people who would say that, okay, I will make a mega book summary, but I also want to make part summary.
Uh-huh.
Summary is, for example, flow. This itself is
That,
a huge part. So only on flow, I will make a separate map again, because I want to go deeper into that subject. And
yep.
not just a self-help book, or not just a book like this, but it could be even our subject related book, whatever. For example, I read a lot of book on mind mapping, or somebody could
Mm-hmm.
on leadership, or let's say on any let's say marketing. So some books that we are reading, and then now in this entire book, these 3 chapters are the most important chapters for me, example. So I'll just put them all together, and only for the 3 chapter, whatever topic they're explaining, I'll make a mind map. So part, it's not a summary of the entire book, but summary of a part of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is possible. And it's all up to us how we decide that balance. Yeah.
Great. Great. I
So
like that speed mapping. You don't have to worry about colors and all
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I will show you a speed map. I'll just, this is the speed map of your podcast.
Oh,
You can see your
love
number
it.
also written there.
Yes.
And you can
Okay,
see this is
good,
the
good,
speed map
good,
of
good.
your podcast. Can you see?
Very nice. Yeah.
What I did was, I thought about you, And I thought about our conversation that we had on the first day, and then on the second day, what are the things you spoke. And then I thought, okay, if I am you and if I want to start this podcast, what are the steps that I will go through from planning to execution? And then I did not, of course, I can make a mind map of it later very nicely, but this was more like, okay, just I had put a timer of 2 minutes, and I said, okay, I'll put my pressure, put my brain under pressure purposely, intentionally pressurize my brain so that it will keep on giving me more and more inputs. And then I just wrote no colors, nothing, but only thing that I have maintained is the rule of, radiance, that is.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Right.
And if you
And
see some
short
branches are
words.
coming out, yeah, short words and the branches coming up from
Right.
here and there, and see wherever, again, here I have written record, and then something I have written about here, record, then edit, mix, batch, what I want to do in batches. So every something I have written. So it's very simple, but then it gives me the information. And now from here, when I will transfer it to a mind map, I will get more ideas in the process, and that one will be more fixed. And that is what I'll be following also. So we can always do
Yeah.
speed mapping.
So I guess that's what I ended up doing when I was trying to live map that seminar, the
Yeah.
webinar I listened to on
Yes, yes, I remember.
grit. Um, this guy, it's all black.
Yeah, yeah. This is a perfect speed map. And
And I ended up afterwards kind of going back to it and did a tiny bit of research on who the professor was and if I could find out more information on her. I couldn't really, so that tells me that she's just starting in her career. But yeah.
once you do this, if you just even keep this piece of paper, and if you can try it also as an experiment, just look at it after, let's say, 1 month, and you will see still you will retain something about the webinar. But if you had not done even this mapping, and if you try to recollect, you will hardly remember her name. And I mean, it's so that's how our brain works. Other things comes in life, and then we tend to forget unless it's something
Yeah.
very emotionally connected.
Yeah. Yeah. So and grit is another word for resilience, perseverance, right? But so it's kind of interesting. I've always felt in my in my career, I give up too easily, right? If people say no, or like I can't negotiate for price, I just give up too easily. On the other hand, there are some things I absolutely will not give up on.
Wow.
And annoy people, right? Because I'm just pursuing. So it was just kind of interesting to get a positive psychology based explanation of the good parts of grit and how you increase it.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
kind of similar.
And
And it was a webinar offered by Zoom.
okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Lovely. So Zoom also offer webinars, right? I
Yes.
do get some notification once in a while, but I've never gone and attended. So next time, maybe if I get a chance like this, even I'll attend. It's always
Yeah.
great to learn. Yeah.
It was the first one I did of theirs because I thought, oh God, it's going to be marketing and how to use Zoom. And
Mhm.
no, but this one was really interesting. So I went to it and it was not an advertisement for Zoom. Never mentioned it.
Lovely. So if
Yeah.
it is
It's the
that
kind of
way,
marketing I like, that you give value
absolutely.
and they didn't have to say that they were giving value. It's just, I know that they sponsored that webinar. So I respect them more
So
because of it.
when there is authenticity, automatically you feel that connect, right?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So in future, would you like to make a mind map of any book as a part of this course? I mean, not immediately, let's say next week, but sometime before we, complete or something like that. At least
Yes.
any one of the book, maybe that you have read before. Even you could pick up a book that you have already read and make a
Mm-hmm.
mind map to start with, so that it's easy. And
Yep.
then the next could be a fresh book.
Yeah. No, I would love to do that. And I already have a book that I recently read. I took really good notes on, so I could build a mind map from the notes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's about a method of prayer.
Oh,
Um, so, but it might be something that is universal. So you might, it's,
oh,
it's,
wow. Please make a mind map and share with
yeah.
me. I
Okay, I
would love
will.
to.
It's so funny. The book, the first half, I was disgusted with it because it just talked about traditional modes of Catholic prayer, is different from Christian prayer because it's very formulaic and old. And then the second half of the book was all about getting the right mindset to do to pray for other people. So it was really good. So I'll maybe just map the part of the book that spoke to me.
Wow. And although it's
I'll do a short branch for the first part of the book.
like the one I did for magic diet. Yeah. But coming to prayer, we have been taught so much because we come from this, as I told, we come from convent, I mean Catholic convent schools. So we've been told so much about how to pray for others. I mean, we have non-stop started our day for 12 years, at least in my case, 10 years with our Father in heaven. So with that is
Yeah.
started. And we had prayer for peace, prayer for this. So we had some systematic prayers which we were asked to told and all of that. But then uh, what I love about the entire my school days and all about all those traditions and all is asking us to pray for others. When we were appearing for our 10th board, we were asked that it's not that I'll be only praying for myself and my marks. No, I have to choose one student in the class. And
Oh,
if I choose a person who is not my friend, I'll be appreciated more, because it's difficult to pray for a person whom you really don't go well with. So
and that's the whole foundation of peace, right? If we don't reach out a little bit to people we're not at peace with, we're not making peace.
absolutely. So we were taught that, and we had to pick up, I mean, chit. So the teacher said, you don't get to choose also whom you are going to pray. And we were given this with all the names we were given, and we had to choose. And from there, we got one name. So along with for myself, I'll pray definitely. Along with that, it's my responsibility now that she also does well. So automatically we started talking. Hey, I'll pray, but are you studying well or not? So all of that thing. So it became the entire process became very nice. Again, we had the process where each teachers in the entire school, we had some 60 teachers, and there would be some 120 students who would be appearing for the 10th board or the 12th board. So again, the teachers were asked, because these are also your children. It's not that you will be praying only for your own children at home, but you also have to
Right.
pray for these children. So each one of you pick up two names from that,
Oh,
and the teacher picked up. Now the two names the teacher picked up, she has to ensure that she goes, I mean, to church or temple or wherever, I mean, whichever faith they believe in, but she
yeah.
has to pray for this person on a continuous basis every evening and remembering her.
Wow.
And the process is so beautiful that everybody enjoyed, loved doing it. Yeah.
Oh,
And it's a tradition
so
we follow
everyone
today.
learned to love prayer. First, how to do it, and then how to love it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And we have this
That's,
tradition there even now.
that's great. Oh my gosh. Yeah, my school was, I'm older than you are, so Catholicism was still very organized. And we just prayed the formal the prayers, the Angelus, the Our Father, the Hail Mary. We never prayed freestyle. And I remember when I first heard a Protestant saying a prayer, just making it up as they were, praying
Yeah.
for you. I'm like, now it's your turn. I had no idea
I can
what,
understand
but I knew I wasn't just supposed to say Hail
that.
Mary, full of grace.
Yeah, that
It's
making a
still
prayer
very
is so
hard.
interesting. Making a
Yeah.
prayer, and the moment, and we by listening again and again and again, because I had many friends, I also got okay. I mean, of course I never said it aloud because at least religion wise we are from different culture. But then we go to church with friends, and also I have heard and how they would even come to bless our homes. So in that home, there itself, they make up the prayer, and beautifully it will be all well designed. And yeah, I love that.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for this conversation. Actually, I
Yeah,
really
no,
it took
thank
me.
you. It's always a little bit touchy. Like, do you share information about religion or how you think about it? And you can't do it with everyone, but with some people you can. And even if different traditions, right? It's like
Yeah,
there's commonalities, and we learn from everyone. So
thank you,
good,
thank you.
good. Yeah.
Okay, so do we have a few more minutes?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Okay, so
Yes.
I'll share you because uh, what do you want? Let us park the podcast for next session and take a different topic right now. What would you say?
Um, and what's the other topic?
Okay, I'll just share the screen and show you. Okay. So in the other topic, I have this, there's this one mind map where we talk about confused. For example, a person is
Yes.
confused and comes to you for counseling, and how I have done use this, and a lot of my clients have also used this. Not exactly the same, but more or less. That if somebody comes to you for counseling, or if you yourself are confused, how do you just mind map your way out of it?
I
Uh,
would love that, because the another phrase that really stuck out at me today in Engelman's book, Marcus Engelman's book, was, do you ever feel like when you're brainstorming, there's just too many ideas and you just kind of get dizzy? And I wrote to myself, so I put the quote from what he wrote. And then afterwards, I'm like, oh, it's so true. I'm always in that state. So yes, I would like to.
Okay, and maybe there's one more, and this, if not today, we can do it next time also. That is, we call it building a template for writing an article or for a speech or something. Building a template, and we use this template as a as a map or as a compass, whichever way we would like to see it, for
Mhm.
writing an article. So once the mind map is fixed, it is all matter of putting the things there, and then once that is ready, it takes like 10 minutes time to put the information there, and after this the writing becomes so easy. We don't have to hunt for thoughts, hunt for the flow. Okay, what should come next, what should come before? So all
Yeah.
that time consuming part of writing an article or preparing for a speech is completely wiped off when we use mind map.
And you can
So
just focus on what you're going to say, and not, you know, all the mechanics of it. Yes, one of the things you asked was to reflect on where I would use MIG in my
yeah.
life. And it
Hmm.
was definitely writing articles, writing presentations. And the other one was conversations with family.
Lovely, lovely.
So,
Yeah, and I was looking for that answer as well, because um, even when we make a mind map, of example, even when I'm reading a book or writing something, so MIG may not be all the seven together, but at least few of them are applicable everywhere in everyday life.
yes.
Yeah. So, especially this repetition and association or whatever it is. Okay, so let us do this today, as you said, and then we will go to article and the podcast maybe in the next session. Let's try this.
Great.
Okay, so I'll just again take an example. I love to speak in first person and saying that, okay, I'm the person who is confused. And what will I do? So I'll check out with myself, okay, what's the problem? Am I having some health issues? Because there is the root cause is always somewhere else. We think I'm confused in life. I don't know what to decide, where to go. And actually, when I go back and see that it's somewhere else completely, and we have been hunting for all the wrong reasons.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah.
So this is so powerful based on the books and all of that. They suggest that first of all, check with your health, and not just, of course, we'll check with physical health as well. I have only written about mental, physical health here, but then people will say that instead of directly doing this, we can also put like health, and then two branches: emotional health and
Mm.
physical health. And then again, in emotional health, just check, are you anxious, are you depressed, or what do you feel, and all of that, some sort of feelings. Whereas here in physical health, you can say that, okay, in my case, for example, I experience migraine, I don't get sleep, I feel like, okay, I don't feel like eating, or I'll be overeating or eating
Mm.
less. So it depends upon, and or sometimes I'll feel, okay, my BP is very low, or so whatever it is, I'll just put a tick and I'll keep on asking myself, do I have this condition? Do I have that condition? Why is it so? I'll just check out all the health reasons. Physical health, I can also add a branch and then write down, okay, emotional, and then I can just keep on extending emotionally. Am I do I get very cranky these days, or
Mm.
whatever? I'll just, we all know ourselves better, so we will ask all those questions. Did I get angry today? Did I just shout at someone for no reason, or did I just not speak up though I was right, but I did not speak
Mm.
up? Even that could happen. So what is that is happening inside? So we take some good time to reflect upon all of that from both physical and emotional health. And then I'll give you an example again now. For example, I was a little bit confused about, this is around to 2019. This map, a part of something similar I made in hand-drawn one page in 2019. And I asked myself all of this, and then I said, okay, uh, the job that I was working in, was it causing me some kind of issue? So if you see that from health, is it related to any some kind of, because that is where most of my time goes. Like from morning 8, I start, I commute to work, I reach there at 9 o'clock, I'm there till 5, and then again, when I by the time I reach home, it's 6:30 or 6 o'clock. So a major part of my life is there. So I was
Yeah.
very confused also. So what are the pain points there? And then I started writing my pain points. I don't feel motivated. I feel discontented. It feels so monotonous. And maybe this all happened only on the 10th year. The first 8 years of my job, I was enjoying. I was
Uh-huh.
loving it.
Uh-huh.
But then uh, everything, there are times when we just outgrow that place and we don't feel like belonging anymore. So
Right.
I
Right.
felt this urge to explore the outside world, and I felt that it was taking too much from me. I was doing the job of two, three persons at a time. And sometimes I would feel that it was a wrong decision to even show that I'm efficient. I should have shown that I'm non-efficient. Then people
Right. So you get help or something.
yeah, but I was the one who would be called all the time for every other task, even though I was in the role of a assistant professor. But then I was also doing this research laboratory work. I was also helping out the head of the department in some article writing research. I was everywhere. And then that made me so demotivated and so depressed. So I saw
Yeah.
pain points. And then I saw, okay, are there some pleasure points? And then, I have just made that cloud around it. And I say, yes, I love teaching. So that is something I love about my job.
Mm-hmm.
Salary, money was good. Bank account was very happy every month. And then I also found that I have made a lot of friends there, very good friends there. So I feel a kind of security, comfort, stability there if I see, because people were, if I just don't think about monotonous or explore, but then there was a part of me which was happy too. So
Mm-hmm.
I was in
Mm-hmm.
a dilemma or confused, like whether should I leave this job or take up a new job? What is that I should do? And then I ask myself, what are the cost of non-action? Suppose if I
Mm-hmm.
take this action now and I just leave it, okay, let me still continue this job, then what would happen? Of course, job security is there, my job would be intact, but maybe I would not be satisfied. I want to explore, but if I'm not exploring, that means a part of me will be always thinking about that. So I'm putting a cross there. Then again,
Yeah.
stability is there, but there is no clarity. I don't feel confident. So I kept on writing. This is just showing you like 5 or 6 points. But the actual mind map, which is very personal also, I have written some 15 points here in cost of non-action. I was so confused.
Okay.
This is good. No, no, this is bad. Okay, this is good. So I was like struggling and trying to find out what is the cost of non-action.
Yes.
And then I also saw that, do I have any kind of fears? And what is that fear? Suppose I'll take the decision to leave the job today. I take action.
Yep.
And what are my fears? Why do I still fear to take this action? And then I thought that there is this fear of transition. There is
Yes.
this fear of what society would tell. That suddenly
Yes.
this crazy lady, a married lady at the age of so and so is leaving a well-paying job for exploring something new. How
Yeah.
what my family support me, financial security. Do I have enough money to go for 6 months or 1 year or beyond to try whatever I want to try? And
Yes.
overall, the entire picture of uncertainty. So all of those fears I tried to see, and I tried to again put that, okay, society part again. I will extend this branch and see are they really important, and then I will write no.
Mm.
Family, and then again I'll think and I'll put another branch and I will say I will convince them. So I started writing like that. Then fear of
Yeah.
transition. Oh, there will be fear, but then who knows? There is something better on the other side also. I'll just give a try. I don't want to regret. And then uncertainty. Then there is uncertainty even in drinking water or crossing a road also. Who
Yeah.
knows what can happen? So
Yeah. There's uncertainty in staying in your job.
yeah, so everywhere there is full of uncertainty. So I, again, this fear branch also, I kept on extending, extending, extending until I reached a point where I found it very peaceful that, okay, I asked, can this fear, like for example, the fear of society, can this be dealt with? No, they are anyways going to judge me, so I have nothing to do with that. But family, okay, this five people are important in my life, and beyond that I don't care, but this five people, like parents or spouse, and some people, this five
Yeah.
six seven people are important, and I will convince them. I will tell them that you got to believe me now. So
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
so all of those I mapped, and then finally I again asked myself that what is that I enjoy doing. And then I saw that, okay, I enjoy mind mapping, teaching, training, writing, reading. So whatever came to my mind, I kept on writing. And then I say that even if I'm changing my job, if I get to do all of these things, then at least that it'll be, the transition will be easier for me. So this
Yeah.
is how I kept on making this mind map, a version of this every other day. I would take a gap of 1 day and again, just to see if the mind map has evolved. And then finally, after two or three iterations, I would say, I felt a kind of peace. Okay, no, this is working. And I think there's no looking back. I'm just going to go and resign. So December 2019, I just went and I've just put down my papers and I said, of course, the HR said, okay, you have to serve the notice period. And we are sure by the end of the notice period, you will understand that this is not a correct decision. And we are waiting for you to stay back because we don't
But
want to
then
lose you
COVID
also.
happened.
Yeah. And even before the COVID on, I was very clear that, under all
Yes.
circumstances, I'm going to leave. And they requested me to extend till May because they did not
Mm.
want me to resign at the middle of a session because of the students, which I agreed to. So I worked till May or June. Of course, the classes suddenly went online and all of that, but then I worked till May or June, and then that is where I said, okay, this is it, because I had this mind map which gave me absolute clarity. I made another version
Yes.
of this, writing that what are the things that will happen if I take action. Like here I have written cost of non-action, and
Mm.
there was another branch in a mind map which was reward of action. If I take action, what are
Yes.
the rewards I'll get? So
Yeah.
happiness, this, that, and I will get more time to spend with my family, which I was not getting in the job. So all of
Yeah.
that I wrote. So this is just a version of a simple version, but then this can have so many variations based on, your situation, the confusion that you're going through, or it could be just anything. It could be even if
Yes.
there are three courses in the market, and I want all the three are appealing so good to me. I mean, all the three are so appealing. Now, which one do I start with? And I could just make a mind map of this. Out of this
Yeah.
three, what is the purpose and the time commitment? Do I really need it?
Yes.
So all of this, so some, and then I keep on asking myself, and through mind maps, when we ask ourselves the questions, automatically the mind map will answer you actually, because it's you interacting with another person now, you interacting with the thoughts of your brain.
Yeah.
And so it's like an interaction. When we are just interacting with closed eyes, or that interaction is not happening.
Right. Right.
But this mind map, if you look at it this way, this mind map are the thoughts from your brain. So you are interacting with your own thoughts. So now what will happen? It will something, a result will come out for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. Um, and what's so interesting is I just made a note that this confused mind map is very, very good for making any decisions. So, you know, the classical thing that we're taught here for decision making is you get a piece of paper in half, split it in half, right, with a line, pros and cons.
But then there are so many in between things also, between the
Oh
pros and
yeah,
cons.
and the why, right? The why is this a pro? Why is this a con? And that's what the mind map lets you get so much richer and overlay other dimensions that really, after you do this pro and con exercise, no matter what the lists say, no matter what that part of the linear thinking brain says, you go with your gut. And to
Yeah.
be able to understand how this interplay between your emotions and the thoughts and all of that, I mean, the brain synthesizes those. So to just do the list and just pretend it's a left brain or right brain exercise does not feel right either.
This is much in depth. If you see, it's much richer. It's the analysis is much in depth. We are trying to reach to something that we may not see instantly right now. We are
Exactly.
digging
Yes.
inside, and again, there was this one phase in I use mind maps a lot. So I remember, again, this is somewhere around 2018 or something, that okay, why is this that I constantly have this issue of I feel stressed all the time. I was too much overworked. I could see that I was working even 12 midnight. I was again getting up in the
Mhm.
morning 5 a.m. And then I could see my colleagues, they are having the good life that they deserve. And why it was me who was always working in the lab sometimes, or sometime in my office, working late night and all of that. So, and I thought, okay, I'm stressed because of work or because of this, that. Then slowly, as I started making the mind map and I started writing the causes and the effects, causes and effects, then I was saying, okay, cause overwork. Then why am I overworking? Then again, so when I went and kept on doing all the mind maps in different branches, finally, I think after half an hour, I say that it all boils down to just one thing. The I don't have the ability to say no on face. And then I said, is that the root cause? Not being able to say no, is that the root cause? And I thought, okay, I found the answer, and I was very happy. I remember I made a video of that for myself, and okay, this is the answer. And then after 2 or 3 days, a question came to my mind, that why am I just too concerned about my image? What would the other person think? And hence I'm not able to say no. So it's again a layer deeper. It doesn't
Yeah.
stop there. So we can keep on asking ourselves question, that why is that I can't say no? Sometimes some people are, too polite. That also could be the reason. It's just that
Yeah.
you don't want to hurt. If it's in a relationship, you don't want to hurt the other person. You're too gentle to say no.
Yeah.
So
But
it is,
sometimes you don't say no because you want to do
yeah,
all
even
those
that is
things.
there. And we
That's
want
a,
to do,
that's
and because we want the praise, we want the appreciation. Even that was there.
or we want to help. We want to experience a different task, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Sometimes tasks that are boring for one person or hard are a
Easy
pleasure
for us,
for
yeah.
another, right?
We also
And
feel like helping. It gives us a kind of satisfaction when we help others.
mhm,
Yeah. So whatever it is, so the moment we write that draw, I made the mind of exactly what you said, that there were some points that where there was some satisfaction coming in just by helping others. So now that does not feel any more pressure to me. Okay, I'm doing some good work. Whereas there are some
right.
places that I think I could have easily avoided this task, but I took it just because maybe I was, trying to be polite, or just because I didn't have the guts to say no to my seniors. Sometimes it was just because I was expecting some appreciation. I didn't know in
Uh-huh.
my mind, but yeah, sometimes we all want appreciation, and that. So all of that questions came up so beautifully, and the answers came up so beautifully the moment there was this mind map interacting with me, with my thoughts.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But that probably meant the next time someone asked you to do something, you went through the mental checklist of, should I say yes? Should I say no? No, am I saying no because I don't want to hurt them, but I owe it to myself to preserve myself? am I saying yes because I really would like to do this task, or I really like to work with the person that, I'd be helping? It's a totally different conversation, and it makes you feel less of an idiot or a weak person, right? That you're,
Yeah, and the moment I know, okay, now I'm taking the decision consciously to say yes or no or whatever, either the regret also is not there, or the feeling of overworking is also not there. So automatically the rest of the things get sorted for itself.
wow,
And
that's
it all
great
happens
story.
because of the mind map, because we have allowed our thoughts to flow in this manner.
Yeah, yeah. That's amazing. I'm
Yeah,
gonna try that this week. There are definitely things I'm confused about. And yeah.
I would love you to explore the MIG more this week. Maybe if you get time and if there's a book which you have read recently, so that you don't have to
Yes,
spend time in reading, if you could spend an
right.
hour just to make a mind map of it.
Yes.
And of course, using this confused mind map, I mean, just for yourself. And you could also read
Yeah.
a little bit about anti-fragility or flow, just for your interest. You could read any.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I tried to write down the guys' names, but I got the first name, Mihaly and
Yeah, I'll
C.
send. I'll
Oh,
send
okay,
you
thank you.
tomorrow when I
Good.
send. I'll send the TEDx TED Talks, so you'll get the name there automatically, and also send you the name of the book.
Thank
So
you.
I'll
Thank you
send that.
very much.
And what
Great.
else? Yeah, I'll definitely send that to you. And the
Okay.
explanation of this book, of course, this recording will be with you, but I'll cut out the portion where I'm explaining the book, and only that part I'll put it separately in the course for you to
Oh,
watch
thank you.
later, maybe after
Wow.
2 months also, you can always watch it.
I don't know how you have time to do all this, all this work. Okay. I'm very grateful that you do and that you prioritize teaching mind mapping to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so
Cheers.
much for saying that. And yeah, I'm
Yeah,
grateful
no,
to you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Anyways, okay, great.
So yeah, I think that's all. I mean, it's 8:30 in my time, and I think for you it would be 9,
11,
11.
11,
Okay,
11.
okay, okay.
That's what makes the India time so hard. It's the 30 minutes. Some of your time zones are 30
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah.
Hard to figure that out. Okay.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
for you, it will be 9:30 a.m.
Yes.
Yeah, 9:30
Yes.
a.m. Yeah.
And I think in my meeting where I logged it in the calendar, I block it from 9, but I'm going to say class starts at 9:30.
Sure, sure, sure. So, yeah, thank you so
Okay.
much once again. And I wish you a great day ahead and a great week ahead. And I look
Thank
forward
you.
to meeting you in the coming week. And I have a lot of more mind maps as well as speed mapping tasks that we are going to do in the next week. And
Okay.
yeah, I'm sure you'll love them. And even if there is something, it's not like fixed, though we have taken for 6 sessions and there will be bonus sessions. But then if there is something left out, we will always do it with some extra sessions, or I will also keep sending you recordings even after 2 months. Also, you will, I mean, that's a process that
Well,
I follow with
and
everyone.
if that happens, we'll figure out a payment structure because I don't want you to do free work. So
Yeah, thank you. But it's a pleasure, being able
oh,
to
good.
uh, discuss about mind mapping with you. And yeah, it gives me so much pleasure to talk about mind mapping.
Good. Good. I can tell. When you were saying you get cranky sometimes, I'm like, I've never seen her without a smile. Even when she's making a serious point, there's a smile back there on her face somewhere. It's still the traces of the smile are visible. Great.
Thank you so much for letting me
Okay.
find day. I'll see you soon. Yeah, see you soon. So,
Okay.
yeah, please
Thank
have
you.
a great day and yeah, enjoy your time. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Take care. Yeah.
Oh.